It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Folks, it's a town that you definitely have to come and visit and spend time. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Lesante. What a great show I have for you today. We're going to do a tour, a mini tour of Jim Thorpe. And as you can see, it is a beautiful town. But wait till you see the places I'm going to go to, and we're going to enjoy this show very much. Remember, you get to watch this show anytime on ssptv.com 24/7. So let's start our journey. So folks, what better way to enjoy the town is to take a tour. And I have Dave here, who is the owner of Town Tours of Jim Thorpe, right?
Yes.
Tell me about what you're going to do and when someone comes and says, okay, Dave, give me this tour.
All right, well, I came up here to symbolize, when you look at that town from a bird's eye view, what I'm going to give people is a bird's eye view, in a sense, of all the attractions and the features of the town, like the overview. So if you have limited time and you come here for a day or overnight, you can maximize your time and attention. I fell in love with this town like many people. It's had many names: Switzerland of America, Mauch, Coalport, and my favorite, Brigadoon on the Lehigh. Because when the clouds roll in, the low clouds, the entire place looks enchanted. And every one of these vintage buildings has a story behind it. And you're going to learn those stories. You're going to take a little trip into the museum and see a film, and you're going to take a highlight tour of the museum. I try to make it very informal and not stuff a lot of dates and information on you, enough that you'll be more interested to take more of the town in and its fabulous history.
Just give me some key places that they will see in the tour. I know as we begin the show, we're going to be seeing a number of places, just probably not as many as we'd like to show, because we'll have another show. We just could only show so many. What's some of the key things, some of the highlights?
Well, we sit outside the Packer mansions. We discuss a little bit about the Packer family's contribution to the town, the architecture of the building, and the Harry Packer mansion next door. We sit outside the old jail and we talk about the handprint on the wall in there and the legacy of the Maguires. Most of the tour is slow drive-bys and park in front, and we discuss the architecture of the buildings, Millionaire's Row. One of the reasons I love doing tours so much is I'm an aspiring playwright and an actor. And my father used to bring me up here on the way to fishing in the Poconos. And this was known as the Ballroom in the Clouds. The big band started to come up here and play because people thought it was romantic. When the fog rolled in, it would obscure the building. And especially the Dorsey brothers got their start here because they grew up about 8 miles from here in a little town of Lansford. So this is what got me started as a young man. And I consider my tour van a small theater. And you're my prisoners in it. And it's an informal tour, and we have a lot of fun.
From there, folks, we are now here, and I want to ask Dave from Town Tours, what are the 3 top reasons to take a tour from Town Tours?
Given the present economy, the cost and potential aggravation of enduring the red tape of Homeland Security, and then boarding a cruise ship with unreliable plumbing and going to places where you can't trust the water, it doesn't seem like fun anymore. So here we are, less than an hour away for most of you. With the high price of gasoline plus tolls, driving 2 to 6 hours to visit other tourist destinations in the Northeast, and the possibility of major traffic jams. Again, we are less than an hour from you. Well, I find that people on my tour that are from the area, a lot of them in Eastern PA didn't know we were here. They had no idea we had so much to offer them. If you are one of those people I described, you owe it to yourself to explore your own backyard. In other words, come to Jim Thorpe.
Folks, this is Dave from Town Tours. You have to take the tour when you get here. Now we're continuing our journey here at Jim Thorpe. Now, we're going to start this tour off, the Sam Lesante Show, at Maguires Pub and Steakhouse. I've been here many times, and I have the 2 owners here, Noel and Mark. Noel, all I can tell you is that we're in Jim Thorpe. I thought I was in downtown New York City. This place is just absolutely fabulous. What makes this place so exciting?
Jim Thorpe has a lot to offer. I mean, for tourism-wise, we have the rivers, the parks, the mountains, the glen. And it's just a great place to be any day of the week.
How'd you get the name Maguires Pub and Steakhouse?
Well, we adopted that because this was the home of the Maguires. It was famous back in the late 1800s. It's where a lot of them were executed at the jail right up the town here. So it's very historic.
Now, you've been here for 20 years.
This coming December will be our 20th anniversary.
Now, you're open, as you can see, all year round. Okay, now we happen to be, it's a beautiful one on the deck here, right, Mark?
Yeah, the deck's been here for 3 years this year. It's doing quite well. We serve, as you can see, we have about seating for about 80 people outside, plus the full bar, 20 beers on tap. So going with the inside, we do sell. We do have a lot of people here at the same time. It's nice.
Now, as I said, folks, there are so many great places here in Jim Thorpe, which makes this place. Every place is unique. So why is this so unique?
I would have to say this is like the heart of the town here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first place you see when you get into town, and it's just the outside bar, the dining. Everybody just wants to be here.
Yeah.
It seems like we feed everybody in the whole town.
And everybody's having a good time.
Look around, you know.
Well, listen, folks, I'm talking to Noel and Mark, who are the owners here at the Maguires Pub and Steakhouse. Folks, you're in Jim Thorpe. We're gonna visit a number of places today, but stop at this place, even if it's to have a little drink, a glass of wine or whatever, and you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. And when you have the food, that even makes it better. Now let's continue our little journey here. So, folks, it is not a Wall Street bank, but it's a Main Street bank. And this bank's been here for many, many years. It's called the Jim Thorpe National Bank. People who work here are people that are friendly. These are people that know the community. Plus, they do a lot of services for this community. I'm going to talk to the CEO, president, very shy guy, Greg Zern. Greg, thanks for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, I just said you're not a Wall Street bank. I love it. But you're a Main Street bank, which means that, there has to be a little history here, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
A lot of history here. Well, Sam, I'm very proud and honored to say that the Jim Thorpe National Bank is the oldest community bank in Carbon County. We're over 150 years old. We've been locally owned and managed since 1855.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, with that being said, what makes this bank so different?
What makes it so different is the people. But as a true community bank, as you have spoken before, we do our business on Main Street, not Wall Street.
Yeah.
We're local people making local decisions. The money that you invest in Jim Thorpe National Bank stays here in the community. It helps provide loans for many small businesses, for people looking to buy homes. We use it to funnel a lot of donations and contributions to the community. We're really the lifeblood of the community.
The interesting thing about that, you don't find banks like this anymore. You don't find the personal, services, and we'll talk a little bit about your staff and your employees, but you don't find that kind of community interest. And that's what I'm so excited about with this bank, that you're involved in the community. And I've just met one of your board of directors. Knows what's going on. He's involved in the community with the Lions Club, etc. I think that's what really separates. It's so comforting, Craig, to have a bank like this, because not with all due respect to other banks, but you're locally and you're involved.
Absolutely, and you kind of summed it all up. You talked to one of my board of directors, but that's really the corporate philosophy and mission. It starts right at the top, from our directors on down to the janitor in a bank. We all have that same passion and pride for who we work for. So it's easy, it just comes natural. You hire the right people, we've got great people, and our people live here, they work here, they live in the community here. So they're people that grew up here, so they know all the interests and needs of the community. They're volunteers, they're very active in the community. Not only will you see them in the bank here, but you'll see them as firemen.
Sure.
You'll see them as people working at the animal shelters. You'll see them involved in their community as the church functions.
Yeah.
So
you don't have
they're very familiar faces.
You don't see that often. Come in, hi, Mary, how's your child? Hey, is Jim feeling better? How's your wife? You get involved with the people that are coming in the bank, and I think that's so very important. That's why you're so successful here, Craig.
You're absolutely correct, and I'm glad you recognize that, and we want the whole community, the whole world to know that, the whole Carbon County.
You also service all of Carbon County. Not necessarily Jim Thorpe as well, but you service Carbon County, right?
Absolutely. We are, again, the oldest community bank in Carbon County. Yeah. At one time, there might have been 12 or 14 community banks. Today, there's only 3 community banks left in Carbon County.
Right.
And I think that's a tribute to what we do right and the kind of people we have working for us. And I really want to thank the community, because without their support and commitment to us, we wouldn't be able to give back as well. So it's about the people.
I call it a win-win situation on areas.
You're absolutely correct.
Craig, thank you.
Hey, Sam, I appreciate it. Okay. Welcome to Jim Thorpe, folks, and all of Carbon County.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Folks, local banking, local people, local decisions. We're not a We're a Main Street bank and not a Wall Street bank. Very involved in the community. As you see, we have Jim Thorpe here. They have medals. They get involved in what's happening in the community of Jim Thorpe. Fabulous town, folks. We're going to continue now with our Sam Lesante tour. Stay with us.
Discover Jim Thorpe is being brought to you in part by Crave Absinth House and Restaurant at 66 Broadway. Call 570-325-4440 or visit us online, crave66.com. Shadow Lane Handcrafted Jewelry and Gifts, 81 Broadway in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-2224 or visit shadowlanepa.com. Grammy Bees Country Store, located at 4 Acorn Court in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-952-5701 or visit us on Facebook.
Tour around Jim Thorpe in a comfortable high-top shuttle while enjoying delightful stories about our unique history and beautiful vintage buildings. Discover dozens of boutiques, galleries, and restaurants all tucked away in this Victorian village hideaway. Whether biking, hiking, rafting, or fishing is your passion, or shopping, fine dining, mansion tours, or live music, taking a Jim Thorpe town tour first is the best way to plan your visit. For more information, call 484-226-007 or email jttowntours@gmail.com.
Built in 1849 and situated in the heart of Jim Thorpe's National Register of Historic Places District, the Inn at Jim Thorpe combines old world charm with modern amenities. Stay in one of their comfortable guest rooms or elegant suites with a whirlpool and fireplace. Get a soothing massage from their talented therapists and enjoy a great meal downstairs at the Broadway Grill and Pub with its Victorian bar. And then step outside into one of America's historic and picturesque towns, Jim Thorpe. Visit www.njt.com. It's the place to stay. The Broadway Grill and Pub is one of the area's most popular restaurants. Located at the historic Inn at Jim Thorpe, the Broadway Grill combines global cuisine and historic charm with a hip downtown ambiance. Slip into a comfortable booth for a great meal or to enjoy a drink or craft brew in our authentic Victorian pub. Taste our flame-grilled specialties on Hickory Wood Grill, as well as salads, pastas, and sandwiches. Breakfast is also served 7 days a week, year-round. Visit us at BroadwayGrillPub.com.
The Mauch Museum has been fascinating visitors and school children of northeastern Pennsylvania for over 17 years with film and artifact presentations that depict the unique history of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Visit mauchmuseum.com for more information. Built in 1881, the Mauch Opera House is one of the oldest operating opera houses in the eastern United States. The Opera House presents a year-long program of entertainment with great acoustics and 400 seats arranged to bring you close to the action. Patrons are invited to come and relax and see acts featuring national performers, and many times you can meet them face-to-face after the show. For more information, visit mauchoperahouse.com or call 570-325-0249.
What community banking is all about is its people. Its people, its pride, and its service. We're very proud that our people love to participate in the many different organizations throughout our communities. Each one of these organizations is very passionate to the individuals who are involved. They have a personal connection to them. Community banking is synonymous with community service.
Come stay, dine, and play in the heart of Jim Thorpe's historic downtown by visiting Molly Maguires Pub and Steakhouse and the Hotel Switzerland. Steaks, pasta, Irish dishes, and great pub fare are available inside the Molly Maguires Pub or on the spacious outdoor deck, and affordable lodging is available in a private suite or standard room at the Hotel Switzerland, the oldest commercial building operating in Jim Thorpe. Open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and lodging.
And so, folks, look at this beautiful view here. It is the Inn at Jim Thorpe. This place is loaded with history. It's a place that people just come and enjoy and relax. And I'm so happy to be with David Jury, who is the general manager here at the Inn at Jim Thorpe. This is a beautiful place.
Well, thank you.
It really is. It's so relaxing. It's just amazing how we have such great places like this in Pennsylvania, but particularly in Jim Thorpe here. Tell me about this historic inn.
Well, we took this property over in 1988 and did a major renovation / restoration, And we opened in June of 1990, and we've been open ever since, and you know, building as we go along and doing renovation work as we go along. Property was built in approximately 1849, and there's been numerous owners over the years. And it's, you know, it's been a project, but it's been an experience. It's been fun.
I'm sure that now you have a lot of famous people slept here. Who are some of the people who slept here?
Well, let's see. We've had General Ulysses S. Grant, President Taft, Buffalo Bill, Thomas Edison. There's probably more, but you know, that's pretty good right there, I think.
Well, let me tell you, and next will be Sam Lesante. I saw coming up here. You had George Carlin here, Glenn Campbell. There's a lot of
oh yeah,
a lot of famous people that come here.
That's correct.
What makes this place so unique?
Well, I think the major thing is the location. We're set right in this neat little town, nestled among the mountains here, and the location is just great because people can come down here. They can relax. Everything is walking distance. You're not staying at a hotel on the side of the road where you have to drive everywhere. We're right in the center of everything. We have beautiful balconies. We have a restaurant and pub, and it's a wonderful atmosphere.
So right next to the Inn at Jim Thorpe is this fabulous place called the Broadway Grill and Pub. And I'm going to be speaking now with the assistant manager, Christine Islas. And Christine, beautiful restaurant.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm relaxing on it. I may fall asleep. It's just beautiful. What makes this place so great?
It's, as you said, we're attached to the Inn at Jim Thorpe. It's always been a restaurant since 1849, and it's kept its very Victorian feel, which makes it very warm. We've kept our tin ceilings. The oak bar is very original. And we've added some fireplaces for more ambiance, and it's just a very warm feeling.
So here it is, a beautiful summer day. However, you're open year-round. Okay, so as we enjoy the summer, we can sit outside or relax inside in air conditioning. Why you're open year-round? And any special things happening in fall or winter? And
well, we have the Fall Foliage Festival in October, which is very busy time of year. We also have, around Christmas time, it's very busy also. But we have 7 days a week. Monday we have oyster night, raw oyster night, which is very exciting. It's very busy. Tapas night on Tuesday, and we have ladies night on Wednesdays. And every Thursday and Friday we have entertainment.
When you talk about the food, of course, folks, it's always important at Broadway Grill and Pub. And I'm very happy now to have the executive chef, who is Zoraida Rivera. Zoraida, thanks for coming on.
How are you, Sam?
I'm doing fine, Zoraida. So tell me about your food.
Well, we have a very unique menu. We call it the global cuisine. I love cooking from other parts of the world. Like we have an Argentinian parrillada. We have fresh made ceviche, which is mostly Peruvian, even though they make it in the Ecuador and surrounding places. Our menu is very diversified, is open, is worldly, has Asian. We love cooking.
You've been all around, many places, as we talked about. Why did you come here to Jim Thorpe?
Well, I drove by this town one day and I thought it was the most beautiful thing I saw. Yeah. And I thought to myself, I want to live here. So quickly, I was living here. If you come to this town and you look at it, who would not want to live here?
That's right. Folks, we're at the Broadway Grill and Pub. As I said, Jim Thorpe is just loaded with so many great places to go, so many great places to eat and see wonderful people like Zoraida and all the other places. We're going to continue our journey here in Jim Thorpe. We're at Crave Absinth House and Restaurant. Yes, I will tell you what absinthe means in a little bit. We're with the owners, Bart and Muriel Springer. This is, again, Jim Thorpe is just full of surprises. It's just amazing. These places here you expect to see in the major cities, and here is this beautiful place located in Jim Thorpe. Tell me how you guys got here.
In the middle of the 2000s, around 2007, we discovered this building and we fell in love with the building. And since my wife is from England, we were going to put a tea room here, an English tea room. Well, after we purchased the building, then we were told a tea room really wouldn't work. A lot of people don't go in tea rooms and they're not excited about it. It's not like in England. So we had to morph into a full-size, full-scale restaurant. We have 4 stars from restaurant.com, the only one in the village.
Tell me about Absinthe Bar. What is that?
A lot of people come and they'll say, well, we just want to try absinthe, and we have a great selection. The state currently has 8 different absinthes that they offer, and we, in the past and currently, and we have been able to stock those, so we have a great selection to try. And this is how we serve it at Crave Absinth House and Restaurant. This is the latest product to come into Pennsylvania, called Abyss. It's 74% alcohol, which is 148 proof. And we'll take a slotted spoon. This is an absinthe spoon. So we want the sugar to dissolve in there. So we're going to what we call louche, L-O-U-C-H-E. We're going to louche this absinthe by dripping the ice water. This is simply ice water. We're going to drip this over the sugar cube, melting the sugar cube into the liquor. Now, as we do this, the botanicals and oils in this liquor are going to solidify, and this is going to become hazy. So notice we're quite cloudy here, and this is the little green fairy that is being released, or as à la française, le fée vert. And we're going to then put, as you see, the sugars emptying, dissolving, going into the glass. And this is to sweeten it up. And this is a very dry absinthe. You could actually use 2 or 3 sugar cubes with this particular absinthe. Well, we're ready to go here. We're going to stir this a little bit and make it happy. Get it all stirred up. And now it's ready to drink.
Well, folks, I'm going to tell you, this is the first time I've ever had absinthe, okay? Wow, it smells fabulous, doesn't it? And I guess you just have to sip this. I'm not used to sipping.
I'm sorry.
As they say in Italian, a salute.
So we would invite your listeners to come in. We'll have absinthe. Check us out online at crave66.com. And we're here at 66 Broadway in beautiful Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Okay. And we'd love to welcome you here.
And for those of you who really enjoy shopping and finding some great unique things, you got to come into Chatelaines. And Kyle here from Chatelaines. Kyle, this place has been here for a while, right? And
that's correct.
So tell me a little bit about the store's history.
Sure, not a problem. Chatelaine has actually been open since September of 1988. So next month we will be celebrating our 25th anniversary. So anyone ready to shop, we will be offering some special deals and some interesting events going on in the area for that event. Currently, the owners are Bea and Johnny Schaefer from the area, so they have a great love for Jim Thorpe and Carbon County. So they're very knowledgeable. If you ever have any questions, you come into the area, stop on in our stores. We'll be glad to point you in the right directions. About 90% of our jewelry line is currently made in the USA. One of the most popular lines we have right now is a line called Nutty Necklace out of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. She basically created her line using some leftover nuts from her father's machine shop, created a whole necklace, bracelets, earring line. That one's real popular with the guys because, of course, the hardware involved in it, something they already know, so they really go for that one. Another one right behind us, we have Haliashi, celebrating about 32 years now. She's out of California, and always the staple item in Chatelaine since they started carrying them are the ear wraps. Always noticeable, keep you unique.
So when you come out of Chatelaines, you walk into the court and you come into Grammy Bees. And Kyle's joining me again to talk about Grammy Bees. You see, you did so well with Chatelaines. I wanted you to talk about Grammy Bees. Now, what makes this place so unique?
Sure, absolutely. Grammy Bees been here almost 3 years. It's a unique experience to go shopping in there because people see, okay, it's Grammy Bees country store. They think they know what a country store looks like. Grammy Bees is the exception to that rule. They keep up with the country decor, but you may come in during the fall and see some items that you're really gonna love. You can come back a month later, you're gonna see a whole bunch of new stuff for Christmas and all the other seasons to follow. They have a couple, they do some box signs, which is from a company from Primitives by Kathy. It's right outside of Lancaster. They do some candle melts and candles from a company called Primitive Glow. They're out of West Virginia. And then one of the really big portions, one of the popular items there is Healing Touch pottery. Basically a mug, you got some sort of stone on there signifying whether it be health, wisdom, anything like that. You can check that out. They're out of West Virginia. So again, 3 big companies right in the United States.
Kyle, what are we looking at?
That you will see right there, that is the Mauch Creek. Starts up at the Mauch Lake, runs right under, goes under some houses, goes under some backyards, available to view right here at Grammy Bees.
And so, folks, we are now in front of one of the most famous places here in Jim Thorpe, and it's called the Mauch Opera House. And if you remember one of the Sam Lesante shows, my good friend here, Dan, talked all about this wonderful place. But in a little brief capsule form, Dan, for our viewers that are watching us all over the state of Pennsylvania, the Mauch Opera House has a great, unique story. Tell us.
Right. Well, the Mauch Opera House has actually been around since 1881. It was remodeled in 1925, and this was a very heavy tourist town. In the past 10 years, we have replaced the roof, the seats, the electrical, the sound. We've done a lot to this place.
And as you can see, folks, the place is fabulous. A lot of great acts you have coming here, too.
We do, and we range far and wide. We do, like, we have a really good Frank Sinatra show coming up in October. We have a John Denver show. We have a lot of rock and roll shows. We've done lots of classical. We've done some theater. We've done some dance. So the main thing is just keep an eye on our website, and it'll keep telling you what we got going. We really rely on being able to sell the town as a destination. You can make a whole day of it, not just go to a show.
I highly recommend that. With some of the places we saw today, the restaurants and the fabulous places. But folks, it's called the Mauch Opera House. Go on the internet. You'll see the number of shows we're having, and Dan is so right. Plan a day if you could, because you'll really enjoy it. Now we're going to continue our Sam Lesante show and our journey here at Jim Thorpe. Now, when you're in Jim Thorpe, you have to come to this place. It's the Mauch Museum. I'm here with David, right? Yes. David, tell us about this building.
Well, before it was a museum, about 17 years ago, it was an abandoned church, a Methodist church, from about 1849, I believe. And it was bought and turned into a museum, a history museum, the Mauch Museum. And I'd like to take you on a short little trip through the museum.
Let's do it.
One of the first things we look at is the overall view of the development, the ups and downs of the history here in Mauch. And we have some displays here on the prehistoric periods with the development of coal in the mountains millions of years ago. So what we have there is an illustration of the first roller coaster ever created in the modern roller coaster.
Wow.
Right there. It was an 18-mile roller coaster. It took over an hour to ride. And this is one of our working models here of what's called the Switchback Gravity Railroad. I call it the mother of all roller coasters. But when you come and visit us, we'll be able to tell you more about it. Okay. And we have various exhibits here on the canal era. We have models of locks and canals. And back here, we have information about, Victorian parlor life. We have a little setup here. This is a 32-star flag that was given to a man named John D. Bertolet in 1861. It found its way into the hands of a history professor in Wichita, Kansas, and it was given back to us as the commemoration of the Civil War. It came back to the town it was originally given to. We have some storyboards on the labor struggles with the Maguires and the railroad industry. And we have, a lot of people don't know this, but Teresa Brewer had her first singing engagement in this town. And they didn't like her talent. When she went to New York, well, the rest is history, and I'll tell that story when you come in. We are standing on the second floor of the Mauch Museum in the Cultural Center. It's done up like a Victorian ballroom, and it's used for all kinds of nonprofit meetings, conferences, fundraisers. And it's also available to the public in general for wedding rehearsals, wedding receptions, weddings.
Folks, just a little bit. He's teasing you a lot, because I'm telling you, this place is loaded. Thank you so much for having us, okay?
Sure.
A lot more to see. It's on the website, but most importantly, you want to come down here, and I said, spend a day. It is so much history, so much fun. You'll really enjoy it. So what did I tell you, folks? What a great day, huh? What a great tour we had. A little mini tour of Jim Thorpe. It was a great time. Remember, you could see the show anytime, 24/7. All of the places we were at and the people we spoke to, you can find on their websites. Please come and enjoy the town of Jim Thorpe. It is a fabulous town. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Lesante.